Have you ever wondered about the topic of emotional cheating? What is emotional cheating? Does it even exist? This is some questions that I'm gonna try to answer in this video today. Now, the reason why I'm answering this question is because I actually made a video a while back. It was called Tyrese Gibson's ex-wife regrets her divorce and he rejects her. All right, so so now, as you can probably see here in the comment section down below, we have the user by the name of I Dream of Jesus, and they've said, have you thought of doing a video on emotional cheating in marriages slash relationships as it relates to the Bible? I would love to hear your perspective. So initially, when I've heard this request, I wanted to make sure that I didn't just answer it too quickly, because I wanted to educate myself on the topic of emotional cheating, or from the research I've done, emotional infidelity. So I want you to look at this video that this TikToker made, and I thought they broke it down pretty good. I'm gonna interject from time to time, but for the most part, I'm gonna just try to let this video play so that we can all come together in common unity on what is emotional cheating to begin with. So let's check this out.
In this video, we're going to look at emotional cheating and the behavioural traits behind it. These two people in a serious committed relationship, it could be a marriage. However, this person has started to text someone outside of the relationship, and it's secretive and it's regular and it has an intimacy to it. It's not actually sexual in that they haven't actually, met and had sex, but there could be erotic undertones underneath it. And this person thinks it's okay. Consciously, they're saying to themselves, it's okay because no actual sex has occurred. But what's happening is they're now getting their emotional needs.
So this is interesting. I'm going to stop real quick because I actually want to hear from you guys in the comment section down below. There's a lot more to this video, but please just indulge me and let's actually share this amongst the community as a whole. But do you think that there's cheating involved even if sex was not a part of the interaction? All right. Do you think that cheating can occur only through the mind? All right. Let's continue.
Needs met by this person, and it's starting to undermine and weaken the actual connection that they have with their serious partner. And they might be going to the external source for comfort. So if they have an argument, then they'll go and text this person, and they're getting comfort, they're getting validation, they're getting something outside of this union, and it's threatening this connection. They might be telling them intimate details that they don't share with their partner. They might be getting irritable after connecting because of the guilt, and they're detaching. But ultimately, they made a choice to do this. They made a choice to emotionally cheat and continue this relationship because of two things. Number one, they might have an inner void whereby they need validation, so there could be an inner void there. And number two, they might be bored in their relationship and have a lack somewhat in this relationship. There's something that they're not addressing in this relationship. But ultimately, they didn't have the integrity to address it within themselves and within the relationship. And this is the issue with emotional cheating. It's about integrity, it's about choice, it's about, disrespect, really. Now, this person needs to really kind of look at the relationship and decide whether this is a deal breaker for them or whether they want to actually go ahead and heal what's been, damaged in the relationship because of an emotional affair. But this person really needs to, address the inner void, address the lack, address their communication issues, and address their integrity, really. Okay? Hope this video has helped you guys. Check out my self-study courses in the bio. Take care now.
Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed that, little bit on emotional cheating. I thought it was very emotional. Informative. It is actually emotional. And the reason why I'm saying this is because as I saw this video, it was apparently clear to me that whoever came up with this concept of emotional cheating, I do not know, but it clearly is from the mindset of the women. It clearly is from the mindset of the woman. Now, I want to actually go back to the comment because it's very pertinent to understand how I'm going to address this topic of emotional cheating based on what was the question provided to me. All right. So again, it says, have you thought of doing a video on emotional cheating in marriages/relationships as it relates to the Bible? Okay, so that's extremely important, as it relates to the Bible. So because this person, for the most part, I dream of Jesus. I've interacted with this individual throughout my channel in times past. They've never been disrespectful, so I'm gonna try my best not to be disrespectful in my response. However, because I'm not gonna mince my words and I'm not gonna beat around the bush, especially when it pertains to the Bible. I'm just gonna speak what the Bible actually says. So whether that individual, takes offense to it, that's not my intentions. I hope that doesn't happen. But hey, you can't control people's emotions. Anyway, let's dive into it. First and foremost, the Bible never even speaks of the word cheating. It is not even a terminology that exists. It's extremely foreign. All right. Now, just looking at the diagram. All right, and I'm leaving it on the screen for a reason. I'm gonna give you a scenario where emotional cheating is totally out of bounds. And again, people may not want to hear this, but I'm gonna talk about it any damn way because it's biblical. If you have a partner, you have both the man and the woman, and the woman is going outside of the confines of the relationship and confiding in another man, then yes, that is emotional cheating. Again, if the woman was to do this. Now, I could probably tell many of the modern women or women in general may take offense to that. That's not a here nor there. I could care less because again, you see, the closest thing to cheating that I could think about from a biblical standpoint is if someone commits adultery. And here's what people need to understand, right? Adultery is defined by the status of the woman. Listen to what I just said. Adultery is defined by the status of the woman. An unmarried woman cannot commit adultery. A married woman can commit adultery. So, in other words, what am I saying then, Nick? Okay, what I'm saying is, if a married woman, obviously she already has a husband, if she sleeps with another man, now she has entered adultery territory, right? If a woman was unmarried and laced with a man, from a biblical standpoint, she just pretty much gained a husband. That's pretty much it. She just pretty much gained a husband. I'll give you some proof of that, right? Does anybody remember the Samaritan woman? Right? And the Samaritan woman, came up to Jesus, offered Jesus, water, and Jesus said that if you knew who I was, you would be asking me for water. Right? And then the conversation continues, and then Jesus proceeds to tell this woman that he asked the question, where's your husband? And she says, I don't have any. And he said that you've answered correctly because you've had 5 husbands and the one you're with right now is not even yours. Now, what does that imply? How can she have 5 husbands? In other words, what Jesus was saying is that all these men that you were laying with, they're essentially your husbands. You see, that's the problem with society today because we have, downplayed the sanctity of marriage. We have downplayed the sanctity of sex as a whole. So now it's just a casual activity. But no. If you had sex, a woman had sex with a man, that was the consummation of the marriage. So a lot of you women, you may not even realize it, but you done have 2, 3, 20 husbands already. Again, I'm not here to condemn you. That's not the point of this discussion, right? But and the same thing for the men, right? The men are not off the case. I mean, do you know how many women you have done an injustice to by laying with all these women and then you just kicked them to the side? These are things that we have to consider. But anyway, getting back to the emotional cheating. So again, a woman, if she is already married and she now goes outside of the confines of that marriage and sleeps with another man, that is adultery. Now, that is the closest thing to cheating, meaning that there's been some type of offense, there's some type of loss of trust there, right? Because that's essentially what cheating is, that you went against the rules. But what are the rules? You see, this is what I want to ask the question, right? The term cheating, usually for the most part, is there's some type of agreement, right? And in order for you to cheat, that means you have to go outside of the confines of this agreement. Now, I would venture to say that this agreement, this covenant, is defined by the Bible. And the Most High already gave his laws, statutes, and commandments. That is the guidelines for this agreement. So if you go outside of the Bible, and the Most High already said in his word that if a woman sleeps with another man while she's married, that's adultery, and that is punishable by death. Right? That's the only offense there. Mind you, now why does it seem like, okay, I'm only picking on the woman? So let's actually go to the other side, right? Now, if the situation was that the man was married and he's now talking to another woman, show me what law is broken. Please show me what law is broken. Because by that standard, Abraham, who had multiple wives, was he emotionally cheating on Sarah because he was speaking to Hagar? How about David, a man after Yah's own heart? Was he cheating because he had about somewhere along the lines of 16 to 18 wives? Speak to me here. Speak to me here. I mean, what about, and here's the thing, right? Because I know there's so much ignorant people, they love to jump on Solomon. Oh, look what happened to Solomon. He had so many wives, right? Okay, but the issue was not with him having all the wives. The issue was with what those wives caused him to do, which was turn his heart away from the Most High. So let's understand the story in proper context. The issue was not the fact that he had multiple wives, because again, I already brought up Abraham. What about Jacob, right? Whose name would turn into Israel, thus the 12 tribes of Israel. He had four wives. Where was his offense? And here's the thing, right? I find it hilarious when Christians, they talk about permissible or will or permissible. They come up with all these theological, words that just doesn't make sense. But no. You see, Yah is not a man that he should sin or he's going to change his mind like we do. Us, because we're fallible and we're flawed, we could come up with an idea one day, and then when we're walking out that idea, we come into a brick wall and we decide, oh, you know what? That probably didn't work out the way I planned, so now I'm going to make a detour. Yah is not like that. He already knows the end from the beginning. So he doesn't have any need to have to, I made a mistake. Can you imagine the Most High speaking that way? I made a mistake. No. He's perfect. He doesn't make no mistakes. He's omniscient. He already knows everything. So he didn't make a mistake. So no, the laws are perfect. And again, there's nowhere in the law where it says a man cannot have multiple wives. In fact, the law actually tells you what should happen if a man was to take multiple wives. I mean, think about that real quick, right? If having multiple wives was a sin, why would he create a law for a man and what he should do just in case he has multiple wives? Right? And notice what it says. It says that he should not diminish, right? If he has one that's loved and one that's hated, right? He should not diminish on his duties, meaning providing that woman food, clothing, and conjugal rights, right? The duty of marriage. So he should not diminish in those things. So if that's all that needs to take place, I mean, clearly And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because, again, right, I already know you give people an inch, they'll take a mile. I am not by no means advocating, because here's the thing, right? In that video, notice that woman mentioned the integrity, right? And that's an area where I actually do believe we need to address it. The integrity of what? You're with a woman, right? So, man, if you're with that woman, I mean, the integrity should be that you should do the right thing, which is do what the Bible tells you to do. Provide the food, clothing, conjugal rights. Yes, you need to communicate with her, things of that nature. We get that, right? And if you hear now talking to other people and you diminish what you should be doing with your principal wife or the first wife, or now she has become like the hated wife, right? Then that's when you're in error, because you're not supposed to diminish. So I don't believe in this nonsense of emotional cheating, because, again, it's if the man wants to speak to multiple women, that's his prerogative. That's his prerogative. Now, again, the Bible says, all things are lawful unto me, but not everything is expedient. I don't think it's expedient for a man to just waste all his energy. You know what I'm saying? Waste all his non-sexual energy and just speak into a whole bunch of women just because he can. Yeah, you could do that, but to what end? What's the purpose? And what are you doing by allowing these women that you are speaking to outside of your marriage? If you get them all excited about the potentiality of you guys coming together, but you have no intentions of actually being a real man, like the men I was naming, because you see, the men that I was naming in the Bible, these were responsible men, men of means, men who actually was able to provide food, clothing, conjugal rights for all these women. And none of them had any lack. None of them had anything diminishing. So there's a huge difference. We're not talking about these boys out here, like I said, who are talking to a bunch of these women. And these women now, they all flustered and their emotions are all riled up because they actually thinking to themselves like, oh, okay, this might turn into something. But deep down inside, you have no intentions of actually covering them. That's when I think it's not emotional cheating, but I think that's when you enter in the territory of, that iniquity, that is you operate in a crooked and bent way. Yeah, I absolutely think so. But again, all I can do is just stick to the Bible. But emotional cheating, no. There's no such thing. I'll give you a perfect example, right? To even add even more context. Think about Jesus himself, right? He gave the parable of the 10 virgins. Let's stop right there. All the 10 virgins were waiting for the bridegroom. If we already know the account, but let's suppose if they were all prepared, wouldn't it mean that the bridegroom was gonna marry all 10 of those brides, all 10 of those virgins? Think about what I just said there. And this is New Testament for a lot of you Christians out there who, you think, oh, you naming all things in the Old Testament. No, this is Jesus. This is New Testament. If they all had oil in their lamps, wouldn't that mean he would have married all 10? You see, that's polygyny right there. So there's nothing wrong with a man having multiple wives. And even the fact that there were 5 that were foolish and didn't prepare oil in their lamp, that bridegroom still end up marrying 5. He still end up marrying 5. So then what can you say then? And this is New Testament. We can go even further. We had the Most High, the creator of the universe. You see, everybody who has come to the truth, we are in the spiritual realm, we are considered brides. Do you know how many brides the Most High has? I mean, we could go from a scriptural standpoint, from Jeremiah 31:31, right? Where he made a covenant, right? And he was married to both Israel and Judah, so he already has 2 wives from a scriptural standpoint. But if we talk about the individuals of Israel and Judah, do you know how many people are being saved? All these people that's gonna be marrying the Most High. So, and we already know that Yah is a man, right? Right? The Bible clearly states that Yah is a man of war. I'm not talking about earthly man, no, but he is a man, right? So he's marrying a whole bunch of brides. Think about that. But you see, let's reverse it. What happened when Israel, which is the symbolism of the woman, what happened when Israel, the woman, started entertaining other people outside of her husband. Oh, okay, that's when we entered the idolatry, right? Didn't Israel, the woman, right, the bride, wasn't she entertaining all these pagan gods that the Most High told us not to do? Right. Idolatry starts entering in, right? We committing spiritual adultery. We here sacrificing to idols. And what ended up happening then? Now Israel got scattered abroad, have no sense of self. They got discontinued from their heritage. I mean, the list goes on and on. But what's the final verdict on this issue pertaining to the Bible? Emotional cheating, it doesn't even really exist. It's a fabrication that, again, you have a bunch of women that's probably trying to pigeonhole a bunch of men so that they can only give, so that the men can only give that woman all their sexual attention and not speak to any other women. And that's wicked. It's wicked. It's a lie from the pit of Hades itself. It doesn't exist. It's not biblical to any extent of the imagination. Again, that's not to say that I don't believe that men should be talking, to oblivion a whole bunch of women. But hey, there is no law against it. But yeah, emotional cheating doesn't exist for the man. Now, if you have your wife then speaking to a whole bunch of men, telling the other men secrets, confiding in other men to fill a void. If you're in a situation like that, man, you lost your wife. You might as well just cut her off right there. You know what I'm saying? You done lost your wife. You done lost your wife. You done lost your wife. Because again, women, their heart is constituted only to one man. So she could lie to you all day. Oh, it's just a platonic relationship. She could say that all day. But if she's confiding in another man more than you, and let's throw women in there too, because, again, you give people an inch, they'll take a mile. You have women speaking to women nowadays. I mean, we know where that leads. And I'm not talking about actual genuine women, like sisterhoods, I'm not talking about that. Y'all can read between the lines. You know exactly what I mean. We got to address this because all the stuff that's going on with the LGBT. But, I mean, it's crazy. But you have your wife speaking and confiding in another person other than you as her man. The signs have already foretold that relationship is about to fail. Because yes, that would be along the lines of her. Again, emotional cheating doesn't exist, but that's damn near close adultery territory. There's gonna be a lot. Something has to change today, immediately, in order for that relationship to work. But anyway, I hope you guys liked my take on emotional cheating. If you guys like the video, please like, subscribe, comment down below, do all that. I would love to hear y'all thoughts on this situation, because I thought it was interesting. Please chime in. What do you think about the whole situation? Do you think I was off? Do you agree? Let us know down in the comment section, all right? But with that being said, Nick over and out. The message sent. Jesus is King, y'all.